There is a hormone test that takes 5 minutes, costs almost nothing, and right now, sitting in your body, it might already be telling you something your doctor has never asked about. Most men live their entire 40s, 50s, 60s blaming themselves for something their own blood could have explained in a single appointment. The tired mornings after a full night's sleep, the drive that quietly disappeared, the kind you used to have without even thinking about it. The body changed, softer where it used to be firm, slower where it used to be quick, and the thought you've never said out loud to anyone. Is this just what getting older feels like? Or is something actually wrong with me? I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to tell you is something almost no man hears until it's already cost him years of his life. This is not just aging. For a huge number of men, this is a single, specific, testable, treatable condition hiding in plain sight, and almost nobody talks about it directly. I hear this exact story from men in their 30s, their 50s, their 70s every single week in my clinic. You are not broken. You are not alone. And by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly what's happening in your body and exactly what to do about it. My name is Dr. Reena, a board-certified urologist with over 12 years of experience helping men understand what's actually happening in their bodies instead of just accepting silent decline as the price of getting older. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 signs of low testosterone that almost every man dismisses as just age, the one blood test that can confirm it in minutes, and the real medically backed path back to your energy, your drive, and your confidence. No fear-mongering, no miracle pills, just the truth your doctor probably hasn't taken the time to explain to you. Before we get into it, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today? I read every single one, and I love seeing this brotherhood of men learning together from every corner of the world. And if this video ends up helping you, do me a favor and hit that like button now and subscribe so you don't miss what we cover next week. All right, let's get into it. Here's the first thing I want you to understand. Testosterone isn't just about your sex drive. That's the biggest myth out there. Testosterone is the fuel behind your energy, your muscle, your mood, your sleep quality, your focus, and yes, your sexual health too. It touches almost every system in your body. So when it quietly declines, it doesn't show up as one obvious symptom. It shows up as 5 quiet ones scattered across your whole life, which is exactly why most men and most doctors miss it for years. So let's count them down. Sign number 5, fatigue that sleep doesn't fix. The biology, testosterone plays a direct role in how your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every one of your cells, produce energy. When testosterone drops, those power plants slow down, even if you're sleeping a full 8 hours. The emotional impact, this is the fatigue that confuses men the most because it doesn't make sense. You did everything right. You slept, you rested, and you still feel like you're moving through fog. That disconnect itself becomes frustrating, even demoralizing. The practical clue, if you find yourself needing caffeine just to function at a baseline you used to hit naturally, or you're exhausted by mid-afternoon despite a full night's rest, that's not just getting older. That's a clue worth paying attention to. Sign number 4, mood changes and lost drive. The biology. Testosterone interacts directly with dopamine, the chemical responsible for motivation, ambition, and reward. When testosterone falls, dopamine signaling weakens with it, the emotional impact. Men describe this to me constantly and almost never as I feel sad. They describe it as flat, numb, like the things that used to excite them. A hobby, a goal, even intimacy just don't pull at them the way they used to. Many men assume this is depression or simply assume it's just who I am now. Often it's neither. It's hormonal, the practical clue. If you've lost interest in things you genuinely used to enjoy and you can't point to a clear emotional reason why, that flatness deserves a second look, not just acceptance. Sign number 3, changes in muscle and body composition. The biology. Testosterone is one of the primary signals your body uses to build and maintain muscle tissue and to regulate where fat gets stored. When it drops, your body shifts toward storing fat. especially around the midsection, and toward losing muscle, even if your diet and workouts haven't changed. The emotional impact. This one quietly damages confidence more than men admit. You look in the mirror and your body looks like it's betraying you, despite doing everything you've always done. The practical clue: if your waistline is changing and your strength is dropping despite consistent effort, that's not failure of willpower. That's a hormonal shift worth actually investigating. Sign number 2, sleep that doesn't restore you. The biology, testosterone production actually peaks during deep sleep, but here's the part most men don't know. Low testosterone and poor sleep feed each other in a loop. Low testosterone disrupts deep sleep stages, and disrupted deep sleep further lowers testosterone production. It becomes a cycle that quietly gets worse over time if nothing interrupts it. The emotional impact. This is the symptom that bleeds into everything else because broken sleep makes the fatigue worse, the mood worse, and the motivation worse. It's often the hidden root underneath the other 4 signs. The practical clue: waking up multiple times a night, never feeling like you hit deep sleep, or waking up groggy no matter how many hours you got, all point toward this cycle. Sign number 1, changes in intimacy and desire. This is a sign men notice most but talk about least: changes in desire and erectile function. The biology, testosterone, fuels libido directly, and it also supports the tissue health involved in erectile function. When it declines, desire often fades before erections do, which surprises a lot of men who expect the opposite order. The emotional impact. This is the sign that carries the most shame, and the one man is most likely to hide rather than mention, even to their own doctor. I've had patients tell me they'd rather discuss their cholesterol for an hour than bring this up for 30 seconds. The practical clue: if your desire has quietly faded, not just your performance, that's actually one of the clearest hormonal signals there is, and it's also one of the easiest to test for directly. I want to pause here and tell you about a patient of mine. A man in his late 50s came to see me convinced his marriage was falling apart because he'd simply lost interest in his wife after 30 years together. He was ashamed. He assumed it meant something was wrong with the relationship, and he'd been quietly pulling away from her for almost a year before he ever said a word to anyone. One blood test later, his testosterone was less than half of what it should have been for his age. Within 3 months of proper treatment, he told me with tears in his eyes that he felt like he'd gotten his marriage back. Not because anything had been wrong with his wife or his relationship, but because his own body had quietly been working against him the whole time. That is exactly why I'm telling you this today. This is not a verdict on you, your masculinity, or your relationship. It's a signal. And signals can be answered, the actual fix. So here's what I need you to really hear. None of these 5 signs mean you're broken, weak, or simply getting old in a way you have to silently accept. They are your body sending you a specific decodable message, and the message has an answer. The fix starts with one simple step: a blood test, specifically total and free testosterone, ideally drawn in the morning when levels are highest. That single test tells you clearly whether what you're feeling has a name and a treatment instead of just a vague label like aging. If levels are low, the path forward isn't a miracle pill or an instant fix. It's usually a combination of addressing sleep, strength training, which directly supports testosterone production, and in some cases, medically supervised hormone therapy done properly and monitored, not from an unregulated online source. Gentlemen, I want you to hear this clearly before we close. Your energy is not gone forever. Your drive is not gone forever. And the version of you that felt sharp, motivated, and confident, that man is not in your past. In many cases, he is one blood test and one honest conversation with your doctor away from coming back. This isn't about chasing the version of yourself you were at 25. It's about giving your body what it actually needs to function the way it was built to at whatever age you are right now. 30, 50, 70, it doesn't matter. Your vitality is not measured by the calendar. It's measured by whether your body has what it needs to keep up with the life you still want to live. If this video helped you understand something you've been quietly carrying for a long time, do me a favor and share it with a friend, a brother, your father, someone who needs to hear this. just as much as you did today. Leave a like so more men can find this message. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what we talk about next. And as always, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today? I read everyone. I'm Dr. Reena. Take care of your health because you are worth it. I'll see you in the next